Hello, guys, and welcome to my AFCON 2022 predictions. It's a very interesting tournament starting in 2 days on Sunday, January 9th, and running to the 6th of February, where there's the final. It is taking place in Cameroon. Starting off with Group A, where there's Burkina Faso, Cameroon, the hosts, Cape Verde, and Ethiopia. Starting off, I think Cameroon will win the group. They're at home, so they must win this group. It's very easy for them, in my opinion. Andre Onana in goal is one of the best African goalies from Ajax. Just come back from a 9-month ban because of drug use. They got Michael Ngeda Ngujui, who's got some European football experience, of course. Ambroise Oyongo, Jerome Gene, and this got a couple MLS-based players. A very good defense. Honestly, probably one of the best defenses in the whole tournament. I love their midfield with Zangisa, who used to be at Fulham, now at Napoli on loan. Pierre Koundé, who used to be at Mainz, now he's at Olympiacos. James Elias Sadiki, and a youngster in Jean Onana. In attack, I love Vincent Boucar. He's probably one of my favorite African players. Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. Let's hope he doesn't stop a goal from his own team. Carl Toko Ikambi, who's been great in the Europa League this season. Clinton Njie, who he was very good before, and I think he's got some potential in this tournament to be good. Stefan Bohoken and Ignatius Ganago, and as well as Mumi Ngamnou, who's had some Champions experience with young boys. I love this attack. I love this team in a whole. For me, the second place team is going to be Burkina Faso. They have a good goalie too, Hervé Kofi, who's got some. He's based in Europe, and Charleroi. The other goalie's not super known. They got in defense Steve Yago. He used to play in Ligue 1, now in Aris Limassol. They've got players like Edmond Tapsoba, who's got a super good future. Plays at Bayer Leverkusen. He's touted to be a very good center back. Interesting for many teams. Rumored to transfer probably in the summer. They've got players like Issa Kabore on loan from Man City to their team. It's also part of their team Trois in France. In the midfield, they don't have a very good midfield. To be honest, that's probably where they're bad at. But in attack, they got Bertrand Traoré, who used to play at Chelsea, of course, and Lyon. Now at Aston Villa, he's probably the best known player. They've got players like Hassan Bandé, used to be at Ajax, now at Istra. They've got players like Eric Traoré, Abdul Tapsoba, who's got a big future. And so this is a team I think will be second, and they have a potential to be a dark horse in this competition. To finish in third place for me, it's going to be Cape Verde. And I like the goalie Vozinha, who's experienced. Stopira has some European football experience, of course. Mol Perevar, Molvidi, whatever you want to call him. Carlos Ponk at Istanbul Basaksehir, who are having a very good season in the Turkish Super League this season. Basaksehir. Steven Fortes, also a good player. So their defense is probably their strong suit, as well as their attack. But their midfield have got some quality in Jamiro Montero, Philadelphia Union player, Kenny Rocha Santos, who's very young and very high potential. Patrick Andrade. In attack, I love Julio Tavares, used to be at Dijon. Gary Rodriguez, Giannini. Giannini's having a very good season at Trabzonspor. And Ryan Mendez, as well as Willy Semedo, who's right now at Paphos. For my fourth place team, and they're not going to go through to the knockout stage for sure, Ethiopia. They only have two players outside the Ethiopian league. That is in Shimilis Bekele is not in the Ethiopian league, as well as Mujib Kasim. And I don't really know any of these players, and that's telling something. So yeah, I don't see them going at all in third, second, or first. For me, they're one of the surest things, and they're going to be fourth. In Group B, there's Guinea, who are potential to be a dark horse also. Malawi, Senegal, for me, the tournament favorites. And Zimbabwe, who has the potential to surprise a few people. For me, the number one team in this group that's going to finish first, I don't think a single person on this planet thinks any other than Senegal. They got the best African goalie in Edouard Mendy. Khalidou Koulibaly, a world-class center back. Fodé Touré from Milan, used to play for Monaco. Abdou Diallo attracting interest from Milan, actually, at PSG. Pape Abou Cissé at Olympiacos. Ibrahim Mbaye from Bologna. Bouna Sarr at Bayern, who used to play for Marseille. So their defense is really good, but not only. It's not their best part, and that shows a lot. Idrissa Gana Gay from PSG in midfield, Cheikhou Kouyaté from Crystal Palace, Nampalys Mendy, who's not playing much with Leicester, but he's still a pretty decent player. Pape Matar, who got signed by Tottenham on loan at Metz. Pepe Gay, also at Marseille, is a very young player. Only one cap though. Let's see if he adds a couple caps to his name. Sadio Mane, probably the top three best African players. Ismail Sarr actually is probably not going to play because Watford has not allowed him. Balde Keita, Famara Diédhiou, Boulaye Dia, who's now at Villarreal he moved this summer and is having an okay, nothing special, but an okay season. Bamba Dieng, who's having a breakout season with Marseille. Mehmet Thiem, who's having actually a very good season with Kayserispor. In my opinion, the team that's going to finish second is Guinea, who actually have a pretty good team and also could surprise a few people. In goal, Ali Keita might not be their best African goalie, but he's still there. Isiaga Sila is a pretty decent left back, plays in Ligue 2 for Toulouse. In defense, they got also Michael Darstream and Saidou Sow, who's having a breakout year at Saint-Etienne. Very good young center back. He's gonna probably go to the big team maybe this summer because Saint-Etienne are probably gonna get relegated. Naby Keita in midfield. That's one of the best midfielders in the AFCON. Amadou Diawara, who's also a very good midfielder. Agibou Kamara and Ilaix Moriba, who might get his first cap. Of course, used to play for Barcelona, now at Leipzig. So they've got a very good midfield. That's probably their best part. But not only. In attack, they got Jose Kante, who played in the Conference League for Kairat Almaty. And Sori Kaba, who used to play for Midtjylland, who was very good, now for OH Leuven. And Mohamed Bayou, who's actually having a very good season for Clermont, and last season he was great. They also got Morgan Goulabogui. The third place team for me is going to be Zimbabwe. They were pretty decent in the tournaments before. They've got good defenders like Teenage Hadebe from Houston Dynamo and MLS. Jordan Zamora is having a good season with Bournemouth. That's another player to look out for. Their midfield is not their best part, let's be honest. But in attack, they got Tino Kadewere, who's probably their best player for Lyon. Knowledge Musona plays for Altai. He's also a very, very good Zimbabwean player. And of course, Admiral Muskwe playing for Luton Town. For me, the last place team, it's going to be Malawi. They don't have many players. I don't know a single one of their players, but they have Charles Petro, 23 caps at only 20 years old, playing for Sheriff Tiraspol, who have been great in the Champions League, even though they're now in Europa League, but still, it's still a very good first ever Champions League campaign. And they got some other players that have been capped a lot, and we'll see how it goes. In Group C, there is the Comoros Islands, Gabon, Ghana, and Morocco. Honestly, this is one of the group of deaths because they got two great teams in there, and Gabon and Comoros, who are not too bad themselves. The team for me that are going to finish first in this group is going to be Morocco, who have got a very decent goalie in Yassine Bounou from Sevilla. Then they've got a good backup goalie in Munir Mohammedi, plays for Hatayspor. Captain Romain Saïs, having a pretty decent season with Wolves. Ashraf Hakimi is one of the best defenders, fullbacks in the AFCON. Naïef Aguerd from Rennes, who just signed this summer from Dijon, or last summer, actually 2 years, maybe 1.5 years ago. Sami May, as well as Sofiane Alakouche. They got a couple Ligue 1 players. Faisal Fajr in midfield, Sofiane Amrabat from Fiorentina, Ayman Barkok from Eintracht Frankfurt, Elias Cher, who's having a great season with QPR, Imran Louza from Watford, used to play for Nantes. They've also got a young Angers midfielder, Azzedine Ounahi, who might get his first cap. Youssef Nisiri is a great striker, as well as Sofiane Boufal, a great winger from Angers. Of course, they got Munir Al-Haddadi, Ryan May, who's been great for Ferencváros, Zakaria Abouklal, who's great for a young player for AZ, and Tariq Tissoudari might get his first cap. He's also a very good player. The second place team for me is going to be Ghana. This team always, in recent years, have been a bit disappointing, but I always like this team. They're fine. There's no good goalies, for being honest. But in defense, they've got Jonathan Mensah, who's very experienced for Columbus Crew, Gideon Mensah from Bordeaux, Baba Rahman from Chelsea, unknown to Reading. He's a very solid left back. Daniel Marte, Alexander Jiku from Strasbourg. He's a very tall center back. In midfield, they've got one of the best midfielders, also like Naby Keita, one of the best midfielders in this competition. Thomas Partey, if he plays at his full potential. Mubarak Wakaso, used to play at Alaves. He's a very good midfielder. Joseph Paintsil from Racing Genk. Mohamed Kudus, a very good young Ajax midfielder. And in attack, they got the Ayew brothers, Jordan Ayew and Andre Ayew. Richmond Boakier, who used to play for Red Star Belgrade back in the day. Kamaldeen Sulemana, who's got such a good potential for Rennes. And this is honestly, I love this team. The third place team for me is going to be Gabon. In defense, they got Bruno Ekwelemenge, who's got a vast amount of experience for Gabon. They also got players like Andre Biogo Poko in the midfield. Guero Kanga from Red Star Belgrade, who's got some European football experience, of course. Mario Lemina from Nice. He's a very, very solid midfielder that no one talks about. He used to play for Juventus. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, everyone knows him. He's having a very disappointing season, as disappointing as it gets for him. Dennis Bouanga from Saint-Etienne. Aaron Bupenza, who last season had an amazing season. I think finished in top 3 or even the top scorer in the Turkish Super League. Jim Alavina, Kevin Mai, also good players. A young Brighton player that I don't know much of. For my fourth place team, it's going to be Comoros Islands. They don't have much experience. A lot of French league players. They got in goal Ali Ahmada, who's okay, nothing special. Shakir Aladir in defense, with Youn Zahari, who's a pretty good young defender. He used to play for Caen. In midfield, they got Youssouf Mchangama from Guingamp. Fouad Bashirou, who's got, of course, Conference League experience with Monia Nicosia this season. As well as in attack, El Fardou Ben, also from Red Star Belgrade. Well, not also, but he's from Red Star Belgrade. And Mohamed Mchangama. Faiz Soleimani is actually a pretty decent player. And but I still think they'll finish fourth because, as I said, this is a group of death and they're unlucky to be in that group. In Group C, there is Egypt, Guinea-Bissau, Nigeria, and Sudan. In first place, a lot of people are putting Egypt, but I'm going a different route, and I think Nigeria are going to do it. In goal, they got Francis Zoho from Omonia Nicosia, but actually the starter is Maduka Okoye, who's actually been signed by Watford not too long ago. He's going to leave there in the summer, go there in the summer. In defense, Kenneth Amaruo used to play for Chelsea, of course. William Trusty-Kong, the captain. He has a YouTube channel, by the way, so check it out if you haven't already. Chidozie Awaziem, also pretty solid defender. Jamilu Collins, Ola Aina. Alex Iwobi, who always plays great for Nigeria, maybe not as much as for Everton. Wilfred Ndidi, Joe Aribo, Chidera Ejuk from CSKA Moscow. Frank the Tank Onyeka from Brentford, used to play for Midtjylland. He's got some European football experience. Ahmed Musa from Fatih Karagümrük. He's been in a lot of teams, but one of the most capped players in the AFCON. Moses Simon, also a good player for Nantes. Nantes, who are actually having a great season this year. Kelechi Iheanacho, not playing as much for Leicester as last season, but still a very good player for Nigeria. Odian Egalo, who's back from retirement. Chamil Chukwueze is a very good young winger. Henry Onyekuru. Peter Olayenka from Slavia Prague. Taiwo Awoniyi, who's having a breakout season for Union Berlin. And Umar Sadiq. In second place, I've got Egypt, who I think people are overhyping massively. If you look at their team instead of just Mohamed Salah, you actually see that in goal, Mohamed El-Shanawi is their best goalie, and not many people know him. In defense, apart from Ahmed Higazi, honestly, they don't have a good defender. In midfield, they got Mahmoud Trezeguet, who's not even started for Aston Villa. Ramadan Sabi used to play for Stoke and Huddersfield. That's it. And Mohamed El Neni, who everyone thinks is bad. So in midfield, their best midfielder is probably Mohamed El Neni and Trezeguet, which is saying a lot. In attack, they got Mohamed Salah, the captain, Mustafa Mohamed, who's actually having a pretty decent season for Galatasaray, and Omar Marmoush. But that's it. So apart from Salah, their second best player is probably El Neni or Higazi, and I don't know why so many people think they're going to be good. In third place, I got Guinea-Bissau, which I quite like. In defense, they got Nanu, He was playing for Porto. He's got some Champions League experience right there. Palais in midfield from Monaco. I believe he used to play for Real Ave. They got a lot of Portuguese midfielders in there. Portuguese players, I mean. They got Moreto Kasama, who's actually having a pretty good season for Haas. Alpha Semedo from Vitoria. And in attack, they got Jorginho in the Polish league. Mama Balde from Troyes. They've got actually a pretty good team, and they got a pretty good chance of being one of the best third place teams. In fourth place is going to be Sudan, so there's no way they're going to go through. I don't know a single one of their players, if I'm being honest. And yeah, I don't know much about their football, so I think they'll be fourth. They've only got one player or two players outside of the Sudan league, and I don't think that's going to cut it in this competition. In Group E, you got Algeria, the reigning champions, and the team that has been undefeated the longest in in any African country. Equatorial Guinea, so another Guinean team. Ivory Coast and Sierra Leone. In first place, it's got to be Algeria. They're one of the favorites to win the whole thing, and I think they've got a big chance of doing so. In goal, I love Rice and Mboli. He's been the goalie for a very long time. In defense, Issa Mendy from Villarreal. He's got a bit of European football experience right there. Jamel Ben Lamri from Qatar, SC, the team. And I think he used to play for Lyon. They also got Youssef Attal from Nice, very good right back. Rami Ben Sambaini. So they have two good fullbacks as well as Ben Lamri and Mendy. Also Midi Tarat. So they got a good defense. Sofiane Feghouli in midfield. I really like this player. Haris Belkebla. And Farid Boulaya, who's a very good Metz player. Ismail Benasser. A lot of people are talking about him as being a very, very good young midfielder. Might leave Milan in the near future. Riyad Mahrez, the captain. We all know how good he is. Yusuf Belaili is actually playing good for Algeria. Baghdad Bounedjah bagging a lot of goals, no pun intended, maybe a little bit. Yassine Brahimi used to play for Porto a lot. Now at Al Rayyan. Islam Slimani, very experienced striker. Adam Unas from Napoli and Said Ben Rama from West Ham. So very, very, very good team. The team that's going to come in second for me, another team I really like, Ivory Coast. In goal, they actually brought in 5 goalies, which is pretty interesting. None of their goalies are really good, but their defense is where it starts. Serge Aurier from Villarreal used to be at Tottenham, of course, everyone knows that. Eric Bailly from Man U, very solid centre back. Simon Deli, Odilan Kasunu, another young Bayer Leverkusen centre back who's got a lot of potential. Willy Bolly from Wolves. Siré Die, who's still playing at that age. Frank Kessie, another great Milan midfielder. So Milan are going to get a little bit blown up there in the midfield with these two players out for probably potentially a month. Jean-Michel Seri in midfield, used to be linked to Barcelona, was at Nice, Fulham now. Maxwell Cornet, who's having a great season with Burnley. Ibrahim Sangare from PSV. Jean-Daniel Akpro, I believe he used to play for Toulouse. Hamid Traore, very good young midfielder. Max Gradel, I really like this player, used to play for Toulouse. And that's Sivasspor. Nicolas Pepe, let's see if his big money move to Arsenal finally does pay off. It's not so far. After 2 years and a half or 1 year, I think 2 years and a half. Wilfried Zaha for Crystal Palace, who every summer is linked to move away and always stays for some reason. Sebastian Haller, tied for top scorer in the Champions League. He is having a breakout season so far at Ajax. Jeremy Boga, who is potentially going to Atalanta. Christian Kwame, he used to play for Fiorentina and Anderlecht. And actually they got a 17-year-old Karim Konate in there. And in third place, I got with Sierra Leone. They've got some decent players. They've got a very solid centre back. Steven Colker might get his debut. He used to play for England. Yeah, I think he got 1 cap potentially, but he changed nationalities for this tournament to Sierra Leone. And they also got Osman Kake from QPR. They also in midfield got Idris Kanu from Peterborough. Issa Kalon from Canberra. So they got a pretty decent team. In midfield, striker K Kamara from HIFK. I think he just moved there. He used to play in the MLS, of course. Alhaji Kamara from Rounders, 7 caps, 5 goals is amazing. Mustafa Bundu from AGF. And Sule Kaikai from White Wickham. So they got actually a team not many people know of, but pretty good. In fourth place for me is going to be Equatorial Guinea. This is also one of the groups of death in my opinion. Those are probably the two groups of death. I like this team. Like Carlos Acapo from Cadiz is a pretty decent defender. Saul Coco from Las Palmas, I believe it's this. He's playing for the second team of Las Palmas. Jose Machin from Monza Serie B team, pretty good. Santiago Eneme from Nantes, and the captain Emilio Ensue, sorry. He's also a pretty good player. Iban Salvador from Fuenlabrada. For the last group, Group F, there's Gambia, Mali, Mauritania, and Tunisia. In first place, a lot of people are going with Tunisia, but I'm going with Mali. I prefer this team. I think they're better. I think Tunisia is overrated, but we'll get to that after. In defense, they got Amari Traoré from Rennes, who's a solid defender. Charles Traoré from Nantes. They got a couple of Ligue 1 defenders with Boubacar Kouyaté from Metz 2, and Massadio Haidara used to play for Newcastle back in the day. FIFA 14, I remember. Lens now. Moussa Sissako is also has a lot of potential. Sinu Koulibaly is there too. Falai Sako as well. Amadou Haidara in midfield from RB Leipzig. Very solid midfielder. Diadier Samasekou from Hoffenheim also. Lassina Koulibaly from Salernitana, Adama Traoré from that famous Sheriff Tiraspol, Moussa Djenepo from Southampton, Yves Bissouma, Brighton. They've got a very solid midfield. Mohamed Kamara from Salzburg is also a very good solid midfielder. And in attack, El Bilal Touré is having a pretty decent season with Reims. Khalifa Koulibaly is a super tall striker. Ibrahima Kone, I didn't even know him, but 6 caps, 8 goals. That is sensational. In second place, I'm going with Tunisia. Yeah, as I said, they're overrated. If we're being honest, looking at their team, their best player is probably Wabi Kazri. In goal, they've got Farouk Ben Mustafa. He's not that good. Dylan Braun in defense. Oussama Haddadi from Yeni Matalaispor. Ali Maalul. Honestly, that defense also leaves a lot to be desired. In midfield, they got Aissa Laidouni from Ferencvaros. Enis Skiri, I'll give you that, he's pretty decent. Saif Eddin Khawi is not that good from Clermont. Hannibal Mejbri has potential to be very good. At 18, already 9 caps shows it. Hamza Rafia. They got an okay team, but nothing special. They even have a 35-year-old striker in Yohan Tuzgar. Wabi Kashri, as I said, their best player. Naim Sliti, he's okay also. And Youssef Msekni, the captain. But honestly, sure, that's good enough to be second in this and to be through to the last 16. Maybe even to the quarterfinal, but a lot of people are putting them in the final or the semifinals, and they're just not that good. In the third place team, it's a team I like actually, Gambia. I like this team. Their goalies are not that good, but they're in their defense. Omar Koli is a very decent Sampdoria centre back. Boubacar Sané, also pretty good. Saidi Janko, I believe he used to play for Saint-Etienne back in the day. He's pretty decent. Only 3 caps though. I think he probably just changed his nationality not too long ago. Moussa Barrow from Bologna, 17 caps, 2 goals. I like that player. Abli Jalal, as well as Ibrahima Darbo. Only 20 years old. He's got a lot of potential with Roma. Let's see if he does something good this tournament to potentially raise the winners of his name. Hassan Cissé from Zurich. Zurich actually, I believe, are having a great season in the Swiss league. Ibrahima Koli from Spezia, also another good young player. And Dembo Darbo. For the fourth place team and the last team I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be Mauritania. And they got an okay team, but nothing special. Abdul Ba, the captain in defense, is okay. And then they got players like Gissouma Fofana, only 4 caps, but he plays for Cluj. He's got a couple of experiences in the Conference League this season. And then no one else really of note. Aboubakar Kamara used to play for Fulham, now at Aris Thessaloniki. And Adama Ba, maybe from RS Berkane. Suleiman Dukera, maybe also. And Pape Ibnou Ba from Le Havre. But apart from that, they're not that good, and then we finished 4th. If you have enjoyed this very long video, please leave a like and a subscribe if you're new. I'll do the knockout stage predictions on next part 2 of this video. So until then, please take care.